Thank you so much, and I yield back.
Thank you so much, Mr. Tonko. I would just say that they absolutely know what they're doing, and they are trying to keep us from doing our authorized, obligatory duties as members of Congress. With that, let me recognize Ms. Garcia from Texas.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and thank you to all our witnesses today. And really, I thank you from the bottom of my heart, because it is, anytime we deal with this topic, I frankly just get depressed. I mean, the news are never good. You know, your description of everything that's happening to Rodney just almost brought me to tears. So I'm just grateful that you all are out there, you know, on the ground, helping us with so many of these issues. Now, we've talked a lot about the detention, but most of the focus has been on adult detention. That I want to kind of bring the one that really does make me cry is what's happening to our children. And I know that in Houston, I've dealt with two situations where children were apprehended. One was on it; the family was on the way to Texas Children's Hospital for some very specialized cancer care. They were American-born children, but they were together with the family deported. Another one was the recent one that the child was autistic and could not communicate his real name and his real status, so he was deemed to be an unaccompanied minor and ended up in detention. And the detention center is new to the Houston area, and of course, with my luck, all this happened during the shutdown, that they didn't even really even acknowledge my request to go visit that detention center immediately, and I still have not gotten a response from them. So, Ms. St. John, is it really any better at the children's detention centers? Do we still have some run by faith-based communities, or have we gone into this for-profit, highway to the point where everybody else's contracts have been canceled, and it's all the for-profit groups?
So in Arizona, we work also with children who are detained in the Office of Refugee Resettlement custody, and I would say that the shelters is what they're called. They're called shelters instead of detention centers.
Well, I call them baby jails.
And they are shelters in name only. This is a lockdown facility. People are not free to leave. There may be fewer bars on the doors, but
do they have medical services? Do they have? When you talk about no psychiatrists, the impact to the mental health of a child at that age to be detained is just horrific from everything I've read.
Correct. And so the biggest difference is there are major gaps in services for children also. We, again, routinely have complaints from children about failure to provide necessary gender-affirming care, failure to provide different types of medical care,
But are they
abuses.
getting the 3 hot meals? Are they getting a bed? Are they getting a doctor when they need the doctor?
They typically do get
Because
their
the
meals.
autistic child I mentioned ended up having to be taken for surgery.
Yeah.
And they actually allowed the mother to come to the hospital to see the child, but wouldn't release the child to the mother.
Right, and so yes, children get meals. Children, maybe not meals that they like, maybe not meals that are actually nutritious, but they get meals. Kids can see the doctor, but sometimes they can't. And so this is the difficulty, is that the care there is maybe slightly better than what we see in detention centers, but it's still completely inappropriate for children.
How many children are in custody in baby jails today?
I do not know that
Ms.
number.
Boyd, do you know, ma'am?
I'm sorry, I don't know that number.
Ms. Owens?
No, ma'am, I'm sorry. I do not know that number.
You don't? Because I keep hearing that of all the children across the country that are in detention, that there's been less than a dozen released, last month, that they're just detaining to use that as a trump card, for lack of a better word, against the parents, to tell them that unless they self-deport, they will not be reunited with a child that's somewhere else.
And that is
Are you all hearing that?
Yes, something that we have seen across the network of providers who work with unaccompanied
So children are being used as leverage to.
That's correct.
political
Children
tools.
are not being released from custody. There's been a number of changes to the policies about who can qualify as a sponsor. Even when children have been redetained, from sponsors that were previously approved and are still completely appropriate sponsors. They're not being re-released to those sponsors. And we are seeing sponsors be detained and deported. So there's this problem of
So
sponsors.
it's a new type of separation.
Ms. Garcia.
I
thank
know,
you.
it's just.
Yeah, I'm sorry, we have
I
so many
just-
members. I'm
well,
going to stay
I realize
tight
that, but
on
We just
timing.
need to remember that there are many, many children
Yeah.
in detention right now.
Thank you so much, Ms. Garcia.